All right, we are live. Welcome to a special episode of the Double Doing Podcast. My name is Brenden D. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm happy to be joined by my friend Thomas Pearson. We're going to recap the Eagles preseason game. Thomas, not a lot of excitement, eh? Eagles fans shouldn't be pumped.
No, they shouldn't.
No.
Not at all. There's nothing to be excited about in this game at all.
Absolutely.
Literally everything we talked about that should
Yeah.
go right just went perfectly fine.
All the drafts looking good. All the young guys look good, but we're going to dive into it. But I was laughing to myself. So we were talking about the Cam Jurgens, how good he was. Like, I'm not an offensive line like aficionado like you are. Like you and Ross Tucker were probably the happiest two men on the earth
I
right
could
now.
not have been happier. I mean, Cam Jurgens blew out every single expectation that I had for him in this game. And it's in every situation he was put in. Like, he moved the line in those short yardage situations. He was phenomenal in open space, like we thought he would be. Um, Eagles actually had some different run concepts in this game. They weren't just going zone. They had some split zone going. They had some sweeps coming out to the outside where he had to pull over one side and then seal off to the outside, and he did that perfectly. So it's really in every facet of the game. They even had a quick screen. He came out like this and then put a guy on his ass. I mean, he was phenomenal in
Yeah.
this game.
Did you think that was a late hit, or like there were some people who like call it like a blind side blocking? Yeah, I thought that was a great play.
Late hits were
Yeah,
only what
or like
happened to
I think
Jalen
they're
Hurts.
blind side block, not late hit. I guess like a blind side block, but
Nah,
I thought it looked clean
semi,
to me. Yeah,
semi.
looked clean to me. Yeah, he looked awesome. Like he was running all over the place. He was like the Ross Tucker was doing the announcing. He's an offensive line guy, right? So they were showing tons of clips of him, and like it was well deserved. Like usually you don't have like a
Well
bunch of
deserved.
offensive line highlights, you know what I mean? Like during a game, but
No,
he was the star of the show.
it was just strikingly how similar it looked like a young Jason
Oh,
Kelsey
I
running
know.
around out there.
That's one of my big takeaways from this game. Like he literally is a Jason Kelsey clone.
Right, right
It's
after Jalen Hurts.
yeah.
That's the main takeaway from the game.
Yeah, very true. But yeah, they literally drafted a clone of himself. And we you brought this up on the podcast last episode. Jason Kelsey should be in like the scouting department, or he needs a job in
He
Philly.
needs a job.
Yeah,
If
like
that
you
was
got to
his,
keep this guy around. Yeah,
if this was any indication of what he is, he needs to stay. Yeah,
yeah,
he needs to draft offensive linemen from now on.
yeah. 100% agree with you. Okay, let's talk about the first the first team offense. That's probably the story of the game. So they come out. First pass is like kind of a roll to the right. Jalen Hurts drills a pass to Quez Watkins on the right sideline, and then Jalen Hurts in total 6 for 6, 80 yards, 1 touchdown.
Basically two. I mean, this
Yeah,
trash holding call they called for wasn't it Mylata they called
I think it
holding
was a
on?
lot of holding. Yeah,
Yeah, that was a slight one.
mm-hmm. But it was a good recovery. Like
It was
they
a good
scored.
recovery. Also,
Yes.
in the very first play, it was a pancake by Mylata.
Oh, I didn't see it. He who did he block on the Jets? You know who it
I have
was?
no idea. I have no
No.
idea.
Okay.
I just noticed immediately from that side that somebody was lying on the ground. Of course, Mylata was standing right on top of him.
Mm-hmm. No, like that was the perfect first play. Like just watching him be able to roll out of the pocket, his arm looked pretty darn good. Like I don't know the noodle arm comments or the weak arm comments just don't match the throw like that.
He was just decisive.
Mm-hmm.
He got rid of it quickly,
Yeah,
and really looked like he had a plan for each of the play that they called, and even in the checkdowns to Sanders, it was a quick decision to allow Sanders to have some space to work with when he got the ball, and that created the first down. And yep, it was decisive and it was accurate.
yeah, no, it was exactly what you want to see. Um, the even like the touchdown run, like I've said this, we've been preaching this too. Like his running ability is part of his game. Like you can see how easy that 20-yard touchdown run is, right? Like that stuff just comes
Exactly.
smooth having that in his game. But let's talk about the dirty hit. Quincy Williams, man. Almost did your heart sink a little bit there? I'm sure Eagles fans' heart sunk a little bit there across the road.
So
I was a little
stupid.
worried. Yeah. That was a bad hit. That was a bad hit.
It was just unnecessary in every single possible way. I mean,
Yeah.
you could even see it on Salah's face that he was just disappointed that
Yeah.
that happened.
I know. And Nick Sirianni yells across
But
the
he was
sidelines. Yeah. That was,
oh, he
that
was
a great
pissed.
clip. Yeah. But like it's kind of like an unwritten rule in the NFL, as a
Right.
coach. Like you just opposing quarterbacks in the preseason are off limits. You don't hit them. And you like to see that kind of that fire from Sirianni. And it sucks. Like Jets fans, man, like what a rough first quarter for Jets fans. It sounds like
Is
Zach
it torn?
Wilson. Yeah, it sounds like it is. Like Pro Football Doc came out and said there's like another football doctor Twitter account that I saw that said like all indications point that it is to a torn ACL. Like I've been a preacher of not playing your starters in preseason. I'm not a big fan of it, and that shows it. And the Eagles got away with one, right? Like that could have been the other way around, especially the way Jalen Hurts plays. But Jalen Hurts is also very good at avoiding contact. It's another underrated thing about his game.
Right. I mean, he was never supposed to have been hit on that play. He was well out of bounds. It was like half to a full second after he stepped out of bounds that the hit came in. It was just it was needless in any game situation, especially the preseason.
Yeah. Zach Wilson didn't look too good. It's just a juicy meatball to Kaiser White as well.
Right. I mean, the Jets offense just looked terrible.
Yeah.
But it's it was a really good startup until we get these joint practices. Also against the Dolphins, when they're going to go up against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle in the joint practices. Like you're really kind of ramping up the challenges for the defense as they get along here in the preseason.
We got to give some love to Jordan Davis, Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Popping off the screen, just like he's so
literally.
He's so noticeable on the screen. It's crazy. It's so cool to have him in Eagles jersey. He's such a physical presence out there. A couple big plays, like the one I think you posted of him just like crashing to center. Like so, he took the center, bull rushed him. It was almost like a double team too. Throws him off of him, then chases down Zach Wilson on that play. That's the play that he got hurt on. And then the other one, like he just opens up the gap, beats his guy, gets an arm on the running back, and Kobe Dean comes in and hits the hole. Like to have a presence like that in the defense is such a game changer, especially the way defenses are playing with two high shells. You're trying to take away the deep pass. Having a guy like Jordan Davis in the middle of your defense just changes everything. It allows Jonathan Gannon to call more plays. He's such a game changer. Like he's going to be such a fun player. He's going to be a fan. He's already a fan favorite, but he's going to be probably the most loved player on this team.
Right. He just took over, and it really goes to show like what we talked about before the game in the last podcast, and the way that he wins. It's just he's physically so imposing, but then he suddenly hits you with like a speed move. And on the play you were mentioning with Nakobe Dean coming in and making the tackle afterwards, I mean, he kind of swims over the center there to create some contact in the backfield. And on the other play, he basically just smothers the center and just lies him down and then keeps running. So it's amazing because he's not just one. It's not just one thing. It's just this traditional nose tackle that'll kind of like push you back and then take it from there. I mean, he can swim move, like if the line is moving immediately, like he can pop off an explosive movement and make some plays in the backfield as well.
Yeah, like he's got a good pass rush, and you saw like the numbers that Georgia weren't like fully there, like the sack numbers, but they asked him to do a lot of different things. He was more of kind of just like take the gap and open up the holes. He's going to have a pass rush ability on this team, and he's just scratching the surface. Like he's just going to get better. He's so much fun. Like he's
also going to be a transition for him, like to learn to play at the new weight that he's at right now.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be a transition period for him as well. But I mean, it comes with the rotation of the D line that is going to be in. He's naturally going to get into the groove a little bit with his snap count, splitting with Fletcher and Javon and Milton.
Mm-hmm. And another thing is kind of, I was thinking about this today. Like everyone rips preseason football. Like it doesn't matter. Like it's not the starters, but like when you got a guy like Jordan Davis, like to watch out for, like he's exciting. You don't want to miss him playing football. Like
exactly.
There's people in Philadelphia that tuned into this game today just because of Jordan Davis. Like he brings that presence. Like it's just, he's going to be a blast to watch. He's going to be a fan favorite, like I said before. Okay.
Now you get to watch Reed Sinet take another sack.
Yeah, I have. I've got it on without the volume. He's not looking too hot?
Nah.
No. I haven't missed much. Jason Huntley had a nice return, I saw.
Yeah, he had a good return, yeah.
And then I think
the whole Jalen Reagor like had a poor punt return. He tried to go way too wide once again, like he usually does, and then got caught for about 3 yards maybe, despite having quite the room to work with.
Okay, is there anything else you want to talk about? We just want to get a quick recap in. Like we've already touched the first team offense. It's hard to you don't want to overreact too much about a preseason.
Nah, I think what was very clear and stood out was that the linebackers just flew around and make plays, and both also in the third quarter here with Sean Bradley, he's been doing that as well. I mean, on all three levels, have you had TJ Edwards come in to make a tackle for a loss? Then you had the Kaiser White interception right after that. Then you got Nakobe Dean and Davion Taylor coming in. Davion had some really good pass snaps in coverage, right there with the guys at the backfield, both the tight end and the running back coming out on delayed routes. Nakobe Dean had the one with the where he shoots the gap with Jordan Davis we talked about. Had another one where he takes on a double pull with split zone. He takes on the tight end, puts him on on the shell. I mean, that just really goes to show that the whole injury medical flag thing around Nakobe Dean just seems so weird now. We're in the first preseason game. He played a full quarter. He basically put a tight end on the turf and made 3 tackles, 2 for loss. I mean, it's really weird what happened there because he's natural. I mean, he looks good. He plays tough, so I don't know what that was all about. But the linebackers really just all made plays, and then Sean Bradley comes in. He makes a tackle for loss in the first play he's in the game. So really, really solid linebacking play in this game, and really maybe that's more of a testament also to the defensive line and how well they're playing and how much focus they're demanding in a game like this.
It's Eagles fans aren't used to it, right? We're not used to good linebackers.
Exactly. It's a whole new thing.
It's crazy. Look what happens when you got good linebackers. It just changes everything. I know you nailed it. The Kobe Dean and Kaiser White Ross. And Kaiser White's almost looking like a sneaky underrated signing right now. Got him for so cheap. He looks like a player that this linebacker room is it's probably the best linebacker room this team has had in almost a decade. You can go back. I thought Zach McPherson played pretty well. He had a nice tackle. He looked okay out of the younger rookie cornerbacks. I think he looked best.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't really too impressed with them, but I also didn't pay too much attention. I was looking more at the interior of the defense. Wasn't really paying too much attention for Zach McPherson. Going to take a look at that afterwards in the next week.
All 22.
Mac McCain didn't look good.
Who? Mac McCain? No, I didn't notice him on my screen. I thought Josh Joby had a rough go. It's to be expected. Like, you remember the weekend against when Dak Prescott kind of shredded the backup cornerbacks. It will be a long go for them, but they should be able to develop at least one of the younger cornerbacks that they do have in that room. I'm trying to think of anyone else on the top of my head. Zach McPherson stood out. What caught me off guard is Sewell Opeta is now like third. He's either backup guard. Like,
wasn't really too impressed with Sewell.
No, he wasn't. He had one bad rep. I noticed.
He had a couple where he got pushed back.
Yeah. So what is he, like the next guard up now? I'm assuming. Like, I'm trying to think. Like, he's got to be, right. He's in early. Like, Jack Driscoll's pretty sure in the game.
I guess.
What's with the Jack Driscoll hate? What's with I
don't know. It really seems like they want to stick him strictly at right tackle. I mean, but we've seen before with a guy like Nate Herbig. Like, if Stoutland isn't pleased with the progress you're making, you're not going to be starting, and you're not going to be taking snaps away from other guys. We saw that, like, Nate Herbig played really well and was starting, and we thought he was playing well, but then apparently there's the thing in practice where he really didn't do well, and so he couldn't, like, Stoutland, and you're not going to take away snaps from some of the other guys. Maybe it's the same case here. Maybe they just wanted to strictly train him at right tackle. So if Lane Johnson was to go down, certainly never hope that happens, then Mailata can stick at left tackle, and you'd have a natural replacement at right tackle instead there.
It's weird because you feel like Mailata would go to the right side and then Dillard would play on the left side, right? Like, that's, I'm assuming. I mean, if they got
not if you're comfortable with the way Driscoll plays right tackle.
But are you more comfortable? Like, let's say right now, are you more comfortable with Driscoll for that? I'm more comfortable with Mailata moving over and then you having Dillard, right? Like, that's how I'm comfortable, and I'm assuming that's how they feel.
I'm just not thinking, like, if you have a guy who is playing like a top 5 left tackle in the NFL and you move him over to right tackle just because you have a backup that can play left tackle.
That gives you the best possible offensive line combination, right? It's not ideal, of course, but when an offensive lineman goes down, you have to be adaptable. Like, I would trust Mailata at right tackle and then Dillard at left over Mailata and Driscoll at this point. Like, Driscoll's a guard. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills with this. Like, why?
Yeah, he was a guard.
He was 20th ranked PFF guard.
But he was a 3-year right tackle for Auburn. I mean, that's his natural position.
He also played some guard. Like, I don't know. I feel
Like
like
he primarily played right tackle with Auburn, and that was his natural position. And then Eagles cross trained him to play guard when they had a ton of injuries at the in the interior.
I feel like he should be the next guard up. I don't know. I'm gonna die on this. So this is the flag I'm planning on this season. Is Jack Driscoll should be the guard. That's how crazy I am. But I don't know. It seems odd. Like I feel like he's a better player than Sewell Peta.
It seems a little weird that they're strictly having him at right tackle.
Yeah,
because they're usually big on cross training.
Anyways, what time is it where you are right now? You said
it's 3:45 a.m.
So we're at 3:45 in the morning. We're arguing about Jack Driscoll where he should play. We are not normal human beings apparently. Thomas, is there anything else you want to get in before we go?
No, that was the perfect start, and hopefully we'll get a good news that nobody has been injured and off to join practices.
Yeah, this is it's an exciting time. Like fans are probably pumped. It was really cool to watch the first team offense. Like like they all were out there except for Jason Kelsey. Like it felt football.
And Landon Dickerson and Devontae Smith.
Yeah, that's true. Landon Dickerson, Devontae Smith. It just felt like you got that like normal like football's back feeling. Like,
right. Offense was really clicking. That was really great to see.
Yeah, Hurts was awesome. Like it was a really good start. Defense looked good as well. Again, first preseason game, tons of time to go. But anyways, guys, thanks for listening. Cool live show we have for you. This will be posted on the Double Doink Podcast Network if you want to take a listen there as well. Thomas and I will probably be back sometime late next week, I'm guessing. They're going to tell me to take a day off. When are they back on the practice field? Do you know?
I think they have the days off next few days, probably Monday.
Okay. Yeah, so they probably get a rest tomorrow, and they're probably back at it. When did the joint practice start? Who is it? The Jets? Or no, not the Jets. Sorry, was it Ravens or one?
They have the Dolphins, and is it Browns?
Brown. Is it the two teams they played next in preseason? Correct? Is that how they do it?
Yeah. So they have two more games. Both of them are going to have joint practices. So it's Browns and Dolphins are going to have joint practices with both of them at the location of both of those teams. So Browns next week and then Dolphins 2 weeks.
That's right on. That's awesome. Football's back, baby. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube if you can. We'll really appreciate it. Bunch of cool content coming your way over the next couple weeks. So make sure, again, to subscribe on YouTube or on Apple or Spotify where you listen to your podcast. We'll be back. Talk to you later.